Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Capcan and this is a Forbidden Shaco Flicker Strike cold conversion to Chaos Damage Immortal Tons of Damage build guide. This is a very interesting and very powerful build that has a lot of potential in terms of defenses, a lot of potential in terms of offense. It has more than 100 million DPS and way more than that. It has tons of defenses, tons of armor, tons of evasion rating. It is a Flicker Strike, which makes it fun. You can defeat bosses with it, you can farm maps with it, you can farm Simulacrum with it. It is a very powerful build, which is very expensive. It utilizes a bunch of different interesting mechanics and a bunch of different unique items. Most of the items in this build are uniques and they are very expensive, but if you want to play with it, then you can definitely do that. This build doesn't use Mage Blood or Headhunter, of course, so it's not from those two uniques, but anyways, this build will cost way more than that. Way more than Mage Blood or anything, but it has the output that you probably want from the build like this. And there are many interesting interactions in it. Okay, so trying to describe and trying to go from the with this build, probably we're gonna start with items first, then we're gonna go for skills, and then we're gonna go to talent tree, because items are very important in this one. Otherwise it may be hard to understand why we're taking some parts of the in the build in terms of talents and stuff. Okay, so let's go for the items. Let's go to the POB, and the first one, the most important one, is the ring, original sin, that gives us all elemental damage converted to chaos damage, and nearby enemies' chaos resistance is 0. This one in particular it is the thing that gives us so much damage. It is the thing that provides us basically with how this build functions. And yeah, otherwise we're stuck in frenzy charges. We're going with Forbidden Shaco with Void Manipulation and Ice Bite on it. Level 35 Ice Bite is essential here because it will give you enormous amounts of flat cold damage from your frenzy charges, and then you can convert all that cold damage that we will ramp up with many other modifiers into chaos damage and deal all the massive chaos hit damage with our Flicker Strike. So yes, Original Sin is first essential item. Forbidden Shaco with level 35 Ice Bite is second essential item. Otherwise we are using Paradoxica. Attacks with this weapon deal double damage, and there is very high attack speed. Otherwise, yeah, the deal double damage is the main important one in here. And every other aspect of this build is a bit less build defining, so we can proceed otherwise to the talent tree first. Maybe, I don't know, or we are just finishing items and then we're gonna go for the skills and stuff. Okay, let's go with items first. So there is our, so Paradoxica, probably everyone's quite familiar with that item. Then our shield that we are using has aspect of cat, and it has +1 to maximum frenzy charges. Maximum to frenzy charges is a very important modifier for us everywhere, on talents, on items, anywhere you can find it. It gives us damage, it gives us flat cold damage, more multiplier, and it gives us more maximum frenzy charges, gives us more maximum endurance charges, which gives us additional defenses. Then otherwise here we do have some spell suppression, chance life, again percentage of cold damage as extra chaos damage is a very powerful build as well, and chance to avoid elemental ailments, nothing special. Then otherwise, Forbidden Shaco we already saw. Replica for Rules 4, which is yet again a quite expensive item that gives our aspect of the cat no reservation. It increases duration of our cat's ability, then it gives us a bunch of armor, evasion rating, maximum life, gain up to your maximum number of frenzy and endurance charges when you gain Cat's Ability as well, which is, yes, is quite important here as well for our, as we do use endurance charges in endurance charge on melee hit. Well, basically there's a bunch of different stuff here. And yeah, you have onslaught while you have Cat's Ability, but remember that you gain maximum number of frenzy and endurance charges when you gain Cat's Ability. Then otherwise, gloves, chaos spirit, +1 to maximum frenzy charges, corrupted implicit, some life, some resistances, and rage generation, of course, as well. Then with our boots, it's dark ray vectors, +1 to frenzy charges, increased movement speed per frenzy charge, increased evasion rating per frenzy charge, and otherwise nothing special. Ashes of the Stars as our amulet with +1 to levels of our skill gems, quality to our skill gems, increased reservation efficiency. I guess everybody knows what Ashes of the Stars are. And then we allocate charisma as our anointment. Original sin we've already saw. Our second ring is just a ring with resistances, some attributes, crit strike multiplier minus to total mana cost of non-channeling skills as well. And as belt we use Perseverance, which gives us increased attack damage, a very high number of increase because we do have enormous amounts of evasion rating, enormous amounts of armor, which makes this one in terms of damage output very powerful as well. You have onslaught well fortified, and you will as well maximum life. We do have here grace, increased aura effect, crit strike multiplier during any flask effect, increased accuracy rating while we have onslaught, and we do have onslaught constantly. Then we are using Eternal Life Flask with immunity to corrupted blood and bleeding. Then Bottled Faith for more crit increased strike chance to enemies on consecrated ground. They take more damage and increased damage as it's a sulfur flask. Then Granite Flask with increased armor, Jade Flask with increased crit strike chance, and Diamond Flask with increased evasion. These are quite obvious. How are you using them? Okay, and now we go to the interesting part. So here's our Vol Flicker Strike. As you can see here, Vol version deals enormous damage, and regular one is the regular one is 160 million DPS. Vol version is 250. Of course, you do not have your Vol version constantly up, but it's still an additional DPS. Then we do have Awakened Multi-Strike, increased critical damage, and Endurance Charge on melee stun, which is here 4% more damage per endurance charge. We do have enormous amounts of +1 to maximum frenzy charges, and with our Forbidden Flesh and Forbidden Flame, we are allocating Slayer's Masterful Form, which gives us your maximum endurance charges is equal to your maximum frenzy charges. And then with our Replica Feral's Fur, we are generating frenzy and endurance charges when we gain Cat's Ability, which means that we're gonna be on cap of our endurance charges, and we're gonna have massive amount of endurance charges. We do have more multiplier here for them. We do have increased damage per endurance charge, and that's basically it here. And then of course, from the Forbidden Shaco, we do have here Void Manipulation level 10 and level 35 Ice Bite. Again, as presented in the items. So this is your main link with our divergent version of Valve of Flicker Strike. We do have increased teleport range with additional quality from the Ashes. We do have even higher teleport range. Here we do have some increased damage per endurance charge with the quality with anomalous quality on endurance charge and melee stun. Then what's next? What's more important? I guess. Okay, so in our 6th link in our chest piece, as we do have our pseudo 6 link in our Shaco, Our body armor is consists from Enlighten, level 4, not even level 5, so otherwise Grace, Precision, Hatred, Vitality, and Determination. Hatred gives us more cold damage. It's the main reason why we use it. You and your nearby enemies gain fizz damage as extra cold damage. We don't have too much fizz damage, but we do have enormous amounts of flat cold damage, which this one increases on a very high amount. Otherwise, determinations with graces, they are all for defenses. Vitality gives us regeneration as well. We do have our rage generation that way, because we are our life regeneration gets converted to rage regeneration, and precision for crit strike for accuracy rating as well. That's mostly it here. Then we are using a leap slam as ways to travel. Smite for the additional aura that grants us a bit of lightning damage that then gets converted to chaos damage anyways, as we do convert all elemental damage to chaos damage. And aura grants increased attack and cast speed as well, with phantasmal quality here. Then we are using Defiance Banner. And we are using Molten Shell as a defense ability, as our guard skill. Then we use Assassin's Mark with Mark on Hit, so we are gonna automatically mark our rare or unique enemies with Assassin's Mark, and it will give us way more crit strike chance and crit strike multiplier. And then less duration in weapon 2 is for the duration of aspect of the cat, so that it will work properly, and we will have this gain up to your maximum number of frenzy endurance charges when you gain cat's ability. We're gonna get it more frequently. So that's why it's here. It's not for Assassin's Mark, and you don't really need to link them. Yes, then we do have our Ancestral Protector and Ancestral Ward Chief, of course, with multiple totems, with some alternative qualities that have increased here totem placement just for your convenience, and increased effect of Ancestor Totem buff. Then Aspect of the Cat and Commandment of Fury is just an enchantment. So that's it with our skill jumps. Now let's go to the talent tree. And we're gonna start with Ascendancy. Probably it's gonna be easier. So first to strike, last to fall, generation of adrenaline, hits permanently intimidate enemies. All very good. We remove ailments and burning when we gain adrenaline, which can be quite handy as well. Otherwise, inspirational. For again increased effect of non-curse auras and stuff like that. Then and banner having no reservation is quite handy as well. Unstoppable hero for additional flat armor and evasion rating. We're constantly fortified, and for additional attack speed. And here just fortification being constant on us with perseverance. Again, it's gonna give us onslaught constant as well. And here our masterful form that we're getting from our Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh. Otherwise, we are starting as Duelist, of course. We're going for all the natural stuff for life, evasion rating, and armor increases. Here we do have Green Nightmare. Gain 10% of cold damage as extra chaos damage, which is more than just ginormous here. And as additional bonus on top, passives granting cold resistance or all resistance in radius also grant chance to spell suppress 2 at 70% of their effective value. And here we do have a bunch of tattoos for some cold resistance, which will additionally give us chance to suppress damage, as we do have here spell suppression chance at 100%. Otherwise we do have some increased effect of non-curse aura gems and stuff. Trigger summon Spirit of Rakiata on critical strike against marked enemies as well. Otherwise here we constantly have onslaught, which means that all the bonuses during onslaught are very powerful for us. And we do have enormous amounts of armor and evasion rating, which means that this one here will give us additional rage regeneration. Otherwise, let's stick with regular talent tree, then we're gonna go for jewels and unique jewels. Yeah, increased effect of marks, which is going to be very powerful for our crit strike chance, crit strike multiplier, and more mana reservation efficiency, all maximum frenzy charges that you can possibly get. We do have here brutal restraint with Nazima, and we are just getting some additional dexterity, some additional cold resistances, some additional increased effect of non-curse aura skills everywhere here. So it's just some additional goodies. Yeah, here we are taking, as you can see, +1 to chance to gain endurance charges on kill, increased damage per endurance charges, and increased all the other things per endurance charge as well. Increased armor. We are gonna have just gigantic amount of endurance charges, and we don't need +1 to maximum because we do have our masterful form. Otherwise, Disciple of Slaughter +1 to minimum frenzy charges, but otherwise all the other good bonuses per frenzy charge are stacking from here as well. More maximum life, more crit strike chance, crit strike multiplier, honor tattoo of the barbarian +1 to maximum frenzy charges yet again. Of course, we do have here attack mastery, non-val strike skills, target additional enemies. We do have splash with tribal fury. Otherwise, more mana reservation efficiency and effect of auras. Here we do have just regular attack damage. Attack damage, some additional elemental resistances that you can get from here as well, and otherwise it's 2 places for our Forbidden Flesh, Forbidden Flame in this part of the tree. Then we do have more life, a little bit of mana leech as well. Mana leech we do need, we do have some unreserved mana, and our skill unfortunately still costs mana, so we need mana leech. With Flicker Strike it's pretty cool that you can't really use your skill unless there's enemy, and if there's enemy you leech mana from them, but you can't really use your mana on nothing and waste it all and then don't have any leech. Then again, more crit strike chance, more crit strike multiplier. We do have Unnatural Instinct here, grants all bonuses from unallocated small passive skills, but allocated small passive skills don't give anything, so we are losing this 10 dexterity, but we are instead gaining, as you can see here, there are tattoos even here, because it's an attributes nodes, and we do have increased effect of marks from here, all the increased maximum life, all the attack speed and accuracy, crit strike chance, elemental resistance and evasion. Very, very good place, especially with tattoos being placed here. Then more spell suppression chance, some additional attributes, effect of marks, and again chaos res, and ancestral vision, modifiers to chance to spell suppress, to suppress spell damage, also apply to chance to avoid elemental ailments, and this way you can get your elemental ailment immunity too. And then let's go for the last cluster jewel that we didn't look up for. Its attack, it's, as you can see here, it's sword or axe attacks. In our case it's sword attacks with a bunch of different good modifiers for increased attack speed and damage, so the small nodes here are very, very powerful by themselves. We do have Watcher's Eye with additional critical strike chance while affected by hatred, and some additional flat cold damage while affected by hatred, which is, but baseline crit strike chance is way more important here. And this is small cluster jewel with 3 talent points for increased mana reservation efficiency, which otherwise gives just very, very high numbers of resistance, yeah, which is more than powerful here, especially Chaos 1. This should be it. So Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flash we saw, Green Nightmare, Unnatural Instinct, Ancestral Vision, Brutal Restraint as well. Yeah, and otherwise it's just cluster jewels. So this is the build. It is a very powerful build. It is a yeah, just in general a complete overkill on anything that you may need. Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, definitely subscribe to the channel. Bye.